What's going on, guys? You got Kwasi here of Kwasi Media, Kwasi Animations. We are about to go on a little journey here. So what you see on the screen right now currently is me using a momentary, hold on. I had to reposition the mic. What you see currently on the screen is UPBGE, which is Blender's game engine. So it's the only way I can use Blender 3.0. It literally has all of the features and all of the bells and whistles of Blender 3.0. So with that being said, I'm going to do a video on basically how to do I guess I would use superhero entrance, but I want to present one of my characters from my show Rise of the Derulians, and it's basically going to be somewhat of an offshoot series or somewhat of a prequel to the series itself. So we're going to introduce him, but right now let's set up our scene. So I'm going to bring in this plane, and I'm just going to name it ground. All right, I'm going to rename this as to sit. Okay, and then I'm going to bring him in because I need him for scale. All right, so I'm going to append. I'm going to go to the character. And we're going to use his IK rig. Okay, so here's an animation already on him by default. Okay, so I have an IK rig on him, so I'm going to delete all those extra parts and pieces. This is not big enough. Let's make this a little bit bigger. All right, and the reason why I keep going in and hitting Control A and doing the transform is because I want it to automatically have all of the proper transforms. Okay, so since this is a game engine, it's going to have a lot of different things set up for that particular thing. So if I want to do my sampling, I go here, but then you have game resolution. So my overall resolution is at 1080p or 1920 by 1820, 30 frames per second. But we're not going to really get too much into that. We're just going to look at how I'm going to set up this basically superhero landing. All right, now I'm going to bring in a cube. I'm going to push it up by 1, and then I'm going to change its origin to the 3D cursor. I'm going to come over to the object properties, and I'm going to, well, let me span this out a little bit first. Matter of fact, let me span it out by hitting S for scale and then Shift Z, and we're going to Shift Z it out on like so. And then I'm going to take it, and I want to just go ahead and do the same thing with the transform, and I'm going to 0.03. Okay, now why am I doing that is because I'm going to animate this, and this entire animation is going to be done in here. So matter of fact, let me take that back to 250. All right, okay, so if you see it get kind of glitchy, like meaning that the screen gets to popping or clicking, it's my mouse. My middle mouse button is tripping, so it's making it very difficult to traverse, and I really don't like using this to traverse, but I may have to do that because this thing has been tripping. See? So I'm just letting y'all know right now. All right, okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set, let's go ahead and bring up this part right here. So I'm going to bring up this editor, and I'm going to split the screen. When you want to split the screen vertical, of course, you can come over here and slide it over, or you can just come down here where your arrow turns to 2 arrows up and down and click and hit vertical split, and then you can just split the screen. So on this side, I'm going to get rid of all the gizmos and gadgets. And here we go again with it doing the same thing. I'm just going to scroll down because I don't feel like fighting with it. All right, so I'm going to get rid of all the gizmos and gadgets because I just want to see it from this angle. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to click this. Of course, I have it clicked. And its scale is already, so I'm going to set its scale. So I'm going to go ahead and go all transforms. So it's right where I want it to be. And then I'm going to rename it Destroyed Ground. I think I spelled it right. All right, now I'm going to hide that for a second, and then here what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into edit mode, and I'm going to subdivide this cube up just a lot of times. Okay, so I think that's too many. All right, that's good right there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn on proportional editing, and what I'm going to do is bring him down to where I want him to be. So I know he's going to land here, so I want to do this. Basically, I'm going to create this break in the ground where he's landing. Right. Okay, so, oh, I'm wrong. I messed up. Let me undo all of that. All right, so this is what we want to do first. I'm sorry, my bad. Come into your shape keys, and we're going to add a shape key, and we're just going to call it broken ground. Right. Okay. Now we're going to come back out, and then we'll do that. All right. I want this on connected only. All right. So it's all right. And I know his hand's going to touch a certain part, but I still want it to depress. So basically, if I want it to look depressed, I'm just going to bring up the places around it rather. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. All right. Because I know his foot is not touching the ground just yet. So we'll bring that down some. Because I'm going to bring this up also. So we don't have to trip on that part. Yeah, there we go. Because once he stands up, it's not going to make a difference at all. So I want this to look like it just fell in. All right. That's the whole point, right? Is to make it look like it caved in. Let's get a little bit more extreme. We can always fix the parts that we want fixed later. All right. All right, so the part where his hands, because like here, I'll bring it down and scale it because I just want to bring it down right where his hands are. Come on, mouse, work with me, mouse, work with me. All right. All right, so come back out. So we already know now, boom. So that's the whole point, right? Is to get this to look like he just hit the ground. All right, so those two things are going to play a part with each other. Now, the next thing is since it falls there, I want him to basically fall in that where he's falling at. So I'm going to move to destroyed ground to where he is. Okay, so let's put the two together, click this, push this out because I want to see basically where the broken ground needs to be. All right, cool. Oh, click the wrong thing. All right. Alrighty then. All right, so I'm gonna click this. I'm gonna hit smooth and push it back. All right. So what I'm gonna do here is come up to object convert. I'm sorry, not convert. Quick explode. So make sure that this is already back to 1, and go to quick explode. So quick effects, quick explode, and we're gonna set our frame to frame. Ooh, I messed up. Let me undo that. I'm gonna undo all of it. How in the world? All right. So I know he'll land at about, boom. I wanted to start breaking up right about 20. No, not 18 or 20. Let's go with 20. So I'll just go with 20. So I'll click it, come into effect, and it's gonna be starting at frame 20. Duration, we're gonna go 20 plus 60. All right, duration 50 is fine. All right, so I'm say 150 pieces. Now the next thing is to subdivide this, but I'm going to do it with a loop cut rather than doing a subdivision, because I don't want side cuts. I don't want cuts on this side. All right, so what tends to happen when you subdivide is it'll subdivide these edges around. I don't want that at all, none whatsoever. All right, so now when it quick explodes, it'll blow up where I want it to blow up at. Now that's the first stage. The next stage, this is a particle system, because it also turns into, it shows you the quick explode as a modifier, and then as a particle system, right? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take that particle system. Matter of fact, let me bump this to 60. And then I'll come down to field weights, and I'm gonna bring this down just under 5. So it'll be like 4 something. All right, so now that means when the pieces come, they hang a little bit and they go up some rather than just fall. I still want them to fall. Now, the next part is force field. So we're gonna hit Shift A, and we're gonna put in a turbulence, which I'm going to expand to 3 meters. And then I'm going to go to the physics tab. I'm gonna make it 4. All right, and then I'm going to add another force field, which will be the wind force field. Again, this time I'll make this one 2 meters, and I have to move both of these forward because I want them towards the middle. Okay, so now I'll click the wind, go back to the physics tab, and I'm going to give it a 2 as well. And I'm going to turn this flow to 0.5, and we're just going to test it out, see what it looks like. All right, so I feel like that's not enough. So the flow will make the strength. Yeah. So I wanted to kind of come down some. So I'm gonna keyframe that wind. I want that turbulence a little bit higher. So I'm gonna take the turbulence to 10. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, it tosses to pieces a lot better. All right, so now the next part is to keyframe the wind. So the wind will start at 20. All right, so we're gonna hit I. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna take it to 0, and then I'll keyframe it again. Since auto keyframe is not on, let's turn it on. Boom. So I wanted to go up to a certain point, but this is the thing. I'm going to let it go so far, and then I'm gonna just end it suddenly. All right, there we go. Boom. Okay, so I wanted to fall. Oh, I didn't take it to 0, then did I? Okay, so it still was flowing. Boom. All right, so it goes to back down, right? So it won't. Boom. And as the debris is falling, let's see if any of it's hitting him. It is. So I definitely want it to blow out. So I'm going to add a force field. I mean, another force field, which is going to be a force field, which I think is hilariously named. All right, so I'll bring it in and give it a level of 3, and it will kick in at 25. So I will go here, go back 1, go to 0, 1, 2, and then it'll blow everything out. 1, 2, 0. All right, so right, there we go. So nothing actually hits him, I don't think. All right, Mr. Mouse, come on. Yeah, so nothing hits him. Okay, so now what we want, when he lands, we know he lands at about 18. So once he lands it, this starts to break. I feel like that needs to change too. So let me go back and change that. Click this and go back to, I'm gonna start this at 18. So now when he hit, right? All right, so it started at 18. So when he lands here, we're gonna go to the shape keys, and just before it breaks up, I'm going to keyframe it on the 0, come here, and start to push it up a little, just a little. Yeah, and then once it completely goes berserk, take it all the way to 1. All right, so that's the whole thing. So now let's play it back. Right. Okay, so now let's add a camera for some effects. So we're gonna go up here, we're gonna add a new collection called Cinema. I said Cinema. Okay, and then I'll add a camera. That camera will be named Action Cam 1 or Action Cam. I'll just name Action Cam. Okay, so let's drop it in there. Let's push. No. All right, and then come over here, go to View, lock it. All right. Oof. Man, this is gonna be difficult. Let me push this up over here because my mouse is really driving me a little bit, and I'm gonna have to use this to play with it because that's driving me. All right. Okay. Making it very difficult to maneuver around. I really need another mouse. Okay, let's see. So we're gonna start close as we can to him, I guess. Yep. Let me go local on this camera. All right. Okay, so and then hit eye location rotation. Noah's going down, so I'll have it go down with him. Go down with him. I think I'll pull this up some more. All right, so it's going down with him. I know this needs to still drop a little bit, so I'll drop this some and then pull back. Okay. So, and right. So now I think like right here, once it does that, let's just figure out the next part. So I guess I'll move back some or forward a little bit and then rotate. So we're gonna move down. All right, there we go. It's still gonna move forward, but I just gotta figure out where I wanted to move forward at. All right, so I wanted to still move forward and it'll just go towards him and just go all the way to 80. The mouse, man. Y'all have to excuse me. The mouse is driving me a little bit. All right. Okay. So now this is the thing. Now I'm going to show the next component to this because his arms are not like I want. I need to fix his arms drastically. But anyway, so here we go. All right, so he fall. Boom. So we clearly see that we can see the seam there, right? So what I want to do is here actually animate this particular thing on the location. So I'm gonna hit I and go location, and where it is on the location I'll keep it there, but I want that to be here. Okay, so I already know on 19 it starts to break up, so I'm gonna push it up on 19. Okay, so I already know it starts to break up there, but on 18 I want it down below because I don't want it to pop up just yet. So roughly about there, and then boom, it'll come up to where it needs to be. So this way we don't have to worry about it showing up in the shot, because all you see is the break. Okay, so now I want to fix this camera because I feel like it's not right. Slide back a little bit. Yeah, his bones need to be fixed drastically. I want this to look way better. I can fix that later though. All right, so yeah, we'll take this to 100. All right, there we go. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. Boom. So now what we're gonna do is, now understand you can use this particular add-on that I'm about to use called Camera Shakeify with Blender 2.93 and up. You can't use it with anything below that. I tried. Excuse me. So what you do is you click the plus button and it'll give you several options, right? It's got 2D options and then 3D options. All right, so I'm going to use the one called, of course, Investigation. and it's already set. I'm going to change its influence, its scale, and its speed. Okay, so you can do multiple camera shakes or different utilities, do some other little actions, but I'm gonna make this like 0.3, and then we're gonna look at it. Right, so it's kind of shaking a little bit. So what I'm going to do is on the scale, bring it down to like 0.5, and then the timing, I'll take it. I mean the speed, I take it up to 2. So battlefield instrumentals. Right, so it's steady shaking a certain way, which is cool, but I don't know if I want that shake. So I'm going to bring the influence down to 0.2, and go back again. Yeah, so I know that that here I want it to shake. Ooh, I want it to shake really hard up in this space, so I feel like that's not enough. So I'll bring all this back to 1. Take that to 1. And let's see what we get. All right. And then right about here, I want the influence to change a little bit because I want the camera, because you see the camera's not up to his face, right? So that's fine right there. So here I'll keyframe it, and I'll keyframe the scale. The speed is still where I have it. I'm gonna leave it where it is. And so to there to about 60, and I'll leave it like it is, and then I'll let it taper off as it goes up. So here I'll take it back to like 0, and this to 0, right? Okay, so let's go again. Yeah, oh, that was nice. And it still kind of gives you that little bit of a. Now, this is the thing, because he hasn't landed yet, I want it to shake when he lands. So now we'll refine that. So here's the influence and scale right here, and I can just skip them down to the current frame. Let's go again. So yeah, boom. All right. So now what I'm thinking is to beef that influence up, because I know it's the same all the way through here. So I'm gonna take that influence or the scale and take it up to 3, and let's see what happens. And I'll take it up to 3 here also, because I know that it's gonna still try to not have the scale I wanted to have. All right, let's go. Yeah, I feel like that's a little off. I'll take that scale back to 1. See something? Yeah, I don't like how it turns sideways. So excuse me, I'll take this scale back to 1. Well, that's fine right there though. So yeah, let's check our time. 22 minutes. All right. Okay, let's go again. And it stops there, so I go to like 110. All right. My mouse is driving me. Okay. Oh yeah, that's way better when it moves at a higher rate. Okay, so we're in the layout. We'll push this out of the way, come back in here, drop this, turn all this off. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna give it a default place to go to. Okay, so guess I can do. No, I don't want to do that. I'll do it in here. Nah, trying to find a good folder. So these will be general play blasts. And then I'll do this one, ROB Gorm Scourge. Alright, so I'm gonna play blast this, but I'm not gonna do it at that level. So I'm gonna bring it down to like 720, back to 30 frames a second, and hit F10 because mine is set for F10. So yeah, I had to fix his body because that is horrendous. All right, so let's look at the playback. It's going to be down in this corner. Oh my goodness, what is that? What was that playback? I was about to say. Okay. Hold on, let me go to the folder because that was atrocious. Oh, it was an image sequence. Ugh. Okay, I see what happened there. Never mind. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm gonna redo that. I don't like that. Delete every last one of those. I don't like image sequences for my play blasts. So give me a second, guys. Delete all those items. All right. So let me go and change this to FFMG. And all right, there we go. FFmpeg, and then do it again. Because it was trying to put all of those parts together. That's what that was. I like the Shakeify thing. I need to fix his arms. That is horrible. I hate that happened. Or that happens. Again, down in the corner. Yeah, I can deal with that. I wonder what happens if I do a shaded version, even though the other things are not shaded yet. Let's just turn it on so we can see his shading. And hit F10 again. I hate that his pants peeking through right there. I don't understand what these models, the normals on these, the geometry on these models is just horrendous. All right, playback again down here in the corner. Oh, this mouse, man. Well, come on. You gonna play it? All right, not too bad. All right. So now what I want to do is turn on all of the goodies. Let's turn on all of the goodies and do a rerun. Run it again. See, like his arms deforming weird right there. That's from the rig. Don't understand why it does that, but well, I know because it's apparently instead of making all of the geometry work with one bone, they gave it helper bones. I don't like helper bones because they make animation so sluggish. Now I have the parts fading. As you can see, they're fading away. I probably wouldn't use that in an episode. Well, I probably would because then it would just have a bunch of smoke and debris around it. Like I would create not necessarily a particle system, but have a collection where that collection would be the debris from after he's landed. So play it back. You know, that camera shake makes it so much more appealing. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so for the sake of it, let's go and shade these parts that need to be shaded. All right, so we have, that's funny how that's, the setup for that because it explodes. So yeah. Yay. Okay. All right. And that's a UV deal, even though I still know I can add color to it. So I think I need it to have the same, but I need to color this first. So let's do the ground. I'm gonna just use a little PBR texture. It's gonna call it ground. I'm gonna go with ground and go with 30. That's fine. It's the roughness map and go. And it's gonna look like that. And I'm gonna click out everything and I'm gonna hit Q project. All right, so yep. Come over here. I'm gonna add in a value node. I'm gonna put 3 on it and plug it into the scale of the mapping texture. All right, there we go. Yes, it loops, but we're not gonna be looking at all that. We're gonna be seeing that from the view. All right, and for the sake of it, I guess I'll add a mix RGB, set to multiply, drop it on here, click this after it gets done doing what it's doing because it's gonna add white to it. All right, I'm gonna click these two together. Gonna go and get the occlusion and then add the occlusion to the bottom and max it out. All right, now I'm gonna take the destroyed ground. Oh no, wait, let's go to the regular ground. I'm going to select all of this. I'm gonna copy it. So copy, go here and then paste. And I'll move it up here. And I'm going to use another mix node. So yeah. I'm sorry, shift and do that. All right, there we go. All right, so that should be shaded now, or about to be shaded. If it'll come on, compile the shader. There you go, you could do it. I don't understand why it's taking so long. All right, it's done. Okay, so now we'll come back in here, see what we get. All right, so the pieces are half faded. So I'm gonna go back in here. I'm gonna look at them because I need them to look like the other ones. So, all right. It's got a driver on it, doesn't it? It has to have a driver. No? So what's influencing it? X. So it just fades on its own. All right, so that spot in the ground, I think it's funny because you see it, how bright it is right here. I think that's a trip just how bright that is. Let's flip them. I gotta wait on it again. Man, what is taking my computer so long? It's been doing this a lot today. Lagging out on easy things. And it's still dim like that. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna add a timeline to this so I can scroll. So they still fade, just not fading the same way because I need all that to be the same color. All right, come back in here, go back into the thing. All right. Oh, there we go. I know those pieces need to be broke up some more. I know that much. So let's see. particles. Excuse me. If I subdivision surface, let me do that. All right, so I'm gonna subdivide this, and then apply the modifier. Oh, it won't let me. Oh, never mind. I'm in. Never mind. I was in edit mode. All right, so I applied it. So we come back in. There's gonna be more divisions. So now when I come to the particle system, I can go like 300. And let's see to like 1. Bring all of it back. Turn this off and go. Way more little chunks. Yeah. Let's see how hard the computer chugs when I hit F10. Oh, okay, it won't. I mean, it is just a quick render. Like, I feel like rendering should be like this. This is what renderers should be coming out of. I don't care if you're using cycles, Eevee, whatever. This is how renders should look. Because all of those calculations should already be pre-calculated, thus baked in, and it should just automatically work. And the baking techniques that they use will take too long, or really, in my own view, in my own perspective, are time consuming for no reason. Like, the technology in Unreal can be in Blender, and you should be able to render just as quickly. I don't understand why you couldn't have it. I mean, you built Eevee, why not just give it the same level of ray tracing that Cycles has, but with the build like Unreal or Unity, when you export out of one of those two game engines. I truthfully do not comprehend why it doesn't work, why they don't do that. But maybe because I lack a specific level of programming knowledge, I don't have a clue, and I'm cool with that. But I just feel like at some given time, we need that technology to come into play so we can make better content faster, and with a different level of motivation, so I just don't like puzzle pieces now because they're so flat, and I don't want them to be flat. But I mean, when you start adding components to the scene, like for instance, all right, I have no background, no lighting, so this is dim, no light. So now let's add light. Come in, add lighting. Right, so I'm gonna add a sunlight. Right, I'm gonna give it a, let's say 3. Make it somewhat yellowish, and then I'll aim it a little differently so it cast a certain amount of ooh-wee on the character. All right, and then in that same light, let's add in that lighting. Let's add some volume. So I'll add a cube. I'll take the cube and bump it up to 30. Is 30 good? It's too much, so I'll bring it down. All right, I needed to be like right on the stuff, so I'll go to the shading tab, click this, go fog, and I'm gonna delete the principal shader altogether, remove it, open up volume, then go I'll go principal volume, and then since I'm not inside, I'll go in there and do this. It says 0.3. I'll beef this up some more. All right, and then anisotropy. I feel like this needs to be pushed, just pushed hard as I can push it. 0.6. All right, I like how you can see that break in the shadow right there. So let me go to shadows to see. Yeah, I'm set up right. All right, and here we'll go 3, and I'll push it a little bit. All right, that's cool. Yeah, you see the break in it. So let me beef. Matter of fact, let me rename this to fog. Just so when I look up, I know what I'm looking at. All right, go back to the light. I'm gonna take it to 4. Yeah. All right, now I'm gonna hit 10, and we're gonna do a makeshift render. Do it in the viewport render real fast. And like I said, when you start adding components, it changes the dynamic a little. I love the fact that it swirls right there because it's just like dirt for real. And all those pieces flying and debris and all that. And I feel like those pieces should be even smaller and have a little bit more effect when they go out, because I don't like them looking like puzzle pieces. So it's something I can work on too. Again, this is just kind of giving you a demonstration of what you could do. Yes, you could just do for cell fracture and have those pieces blow everywhere as cell parts, and they'll probably be even small pieces because it's more like a volume breaking. Like the cell fracture creates solid parts from volume, so that would just be more viable a decision or choice. But for me, just doing this is like, again, this is kind of like a makeshift thing to do something real quick, then not including we add another component like smoke or dust or something like that. Again, nothing wrong with a good play blast, so this way you can just have something to bounce off of. All right, so that's done. Again, down here in the corner, let's go. Boom. Yeah, that light makes a difference. So he's coming. Ew, like I've arrived. I've arrived. I am Gorum, son of Garces. He's not son of Garces. Garces is his brother. But still, I just wanted to say that. Yeah, I think this is a cool look. So, all right. So now I guess we add another component. For instance, maybe like a puff of smoke or something. Let me get close to him. All right. So let's get in there. All right. And the knows I haven't saved because this is not a save project. But yeah, I think I want to re-aim the sun a little bit. Let's go with that. All right. Let's see what the end result look like. Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out what is casting a shadow on his face. Oh, his hair. Look, he has a strip of hair there. I'll say. Never mind. Okay. All right. So I think the next component would be like some dust or something. So I'll create debris. Another collection. And in this case, let's see, turn this on so I can see what my, all right. And I will append it. Yeah, go, no, general effect. Yeah, so smoke. And I want this. Go into collection and I'll do the ground puff. Would it be the ground puff or the big puff? Let's go big puff. Big puff. All right, so we got a big puff in here. It's got stuff all attached to it or whatnot. So I'll click all of that and move it to the front of the tower. All righty. Okay, so since it's not already there, I want to change the scope of its color. So yeah, let me go do that. All right. And so let's look at its. I want to change the colors. So I know this color is its core color. I'll beef it up a little bit. And I figure the dirt here is kind of grayish, so I'll keep that. I'll change this to something a little darker also. And I'm gonna pull the edges so in order to do that, I gotta pull the gamma some more, because if I do this, it's gonna go completely there. There we go. So pull it a little bit and then pull that back some. Get a little tighter in there. I feel like this could be a little dirtier. Yeah, there we go. All right, so when I turn this on, yes sir, there we go. All right. Okay, so with the poof, I don't need all this big, turn all this small. All right, so with the poof, these two things move it a specific way, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna add drivers to them where those drivers are always going, and then I'll animate the actual smoke puff, dirt puff. We're just gonna call it a dirt cloud. Call it a dirt cloud. So come back into the layout. I'm gonna push this up. and then go to its object property, and I know I'm going to use the location. Okay, so yeah, all right. So I know that this is going to start like boom, and then it'll start to poof up like right about there. So I'm going to let the puff come up at about 21. All right, so I already know there's going to be up so far, so I'll push it down. And it definitely needs to move forward, so I already know this. Okay. And over a little bit, since it is a little bit different. Check the time. 45. All right, so about to stop. Okay. So I already know it's going to pop up right about here. Okay. So I'll go ahead and lock that in with a location. And then back here, I'm going to push it down all the way. Just don't even want it in the scene. Okay. All right, so when it pops up, boom. And then I know it's going to go so far. So I'm just going to push forward with my arrow key here. All right. All right. And what I really want to do here is have it expand, like go up so far and basically get out of the way as he goes to stand up. So about 60. I'll push it up some more. Let me do it like this. I'm sorry, I'll push it down because it'll slowly be fading away. Okay. So now the next thing that I'll be doing between here and there, right about here, is in its shading tab, I'll fade it out. Okay, so I'm gonna go back over to the shading tab, and the gist here is to get this to start to fade. All right, so I'm trying to think about which way it goes to fade it out. Oh, my bad, I'm sorry. It needs to be, I'm sorry, not to fade it out, I need to change its shadow and its blend mode to alpha hashed. Okay, so I'm going to add a mix shader. Click. All right, and then once I add the mix shader, I'm going to add a transparent BDSF. Alright, so now we get that hash look, right? Okay, and then what I'll do is push this so that it'll fade out. So it'll start at 0.5 at that spot. So let's go there. So we clearly see this is the spot we want to go to. I'll hit I, and then by the time we get to 60, it'll fade. Okay, so I'll go back to the dirt cloud and I'll pull it back up some. So I wanted to fade kind of at his feet. So by the time he stands up, it'll already be right where I need it to be. All right, so go back to 0. And we'll just pan through it by hand. All right. Turn all this off so we can see. All in the smoke. So it went way too fast for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this out to about 90 and then go back to shading and do the same thing with the shader. Let's push it out so it fades over time. So just scan again.
Battlefield instrumentals.
Ooh, I like that. Because you don't really get to see him stand up.
This is a C-tone track.
Just see debris falling. Ugh, the boy is dangerous. Okay, so now with that being said, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click this one empty, and I want its location to be on the Y. No, I'll put it on the Z. So I'm coming in, gonna hit pound frame /120, and then the other one the same thing. All right, and then go back into the camera, and we're gonna do F10 because I want to take my time with it. Just waiting on it to finish. That's about it. Yeah, I'm liking the way that looks. I mean, you get to see him a little bit, huh? See his hair come peek through a little bit. I think the smoke or dirt could be a little bit more, I guess, brown. But I was trying to match it to the color of the ground. So, yeah. But yeah, I liked it how you start to see him. It comes through. That's what I liked about Alpha Hash. It gives you like that broken up look. You can even see on his body. You see like across his body, like the particles kind of spreading out. See how that debris looks right here? Like I want it to be thicker. That I would only do that if I just did cell fracture. But right now, like I said, this is something, I guess you could say, use the phrase a lot of people say, quick and dirty. Something for, to pass the time, something passable. You know, it's not resource heavy because clearly I'm not using a lot of megs here. I mean, my VRAM is 0.6 and my memory is still under 300 megabytes. I mean, I'm not hardly using any memory doing this. And I have a 20 gigs of RAM, so yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm liking that. Right there. Ooh, just that landing. So right here, I see clearly that the pieces hadn't come up yet. And I think that's a trip because I changed the amount of pieces, but not what time they should pop out. But I see clearly, like once you get to 30, they start to pop up. I feel like they should have popped up right here. I guess they are. Yeah, they are. It's the ground comes up over them really fast. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So that, guys, is pretty much going to be it. That's what I wanted to show you. And this is just a quick, dirty way you can make a cool scene to make one of your characters come in. A lot of people say, "Oh, superhero landed," and that's fine. However you want to phrase it. But I just want to show you guys that. So nothing but love, and catch you on the flip side.